I love the before mentioned feature of being able to read and write reviews. If your child becomes enthusiastic about writing their opinion about a book, that's a double win. Welcome to Epic Mom Life. I am your host, Kara Peterson. This show is sponsored by The Possum's Tale, a unique book adventure for your 6 to 12-year-old child. Let's jump into today's show. Help your children become interested in reading with book trackers. In a world that seems inundated with digital screens, talking computers, and a multitude of distractions, fostering a love for reading in children has never felt so challenging. One effective way to engage children in reading is by introducing them to the concept of a book tracker. A book tracker not only encourages kids to read, but also turns reading into a rewarding activity. So what is a book tracker? A book tracker is a tool to help children or adults keep track of the books they have read and sometimes that they want to read. It typically includes features such as the title, the author. You can do stars or reviews, but usually it's just really simple. You just put stars for whether you liked it or not, usually out of 5. Sometimes there's a place to put titles that you would like to read. Sometimes there's like a progress bar if it's a digital version. Oftentimes you just put your completion date. I do this all with Goodreads. I went back and looked at my Goodreads account. I haven't updated my account in 5 years, yet I have 588 books that I have read already listed on Goodreads. Every time I go into this account, I have a huge feeling of accomplishment. I mean, that's 588 books. That's a lot. Why should you use a book tracker? 1, motivation. Keeping track of the books your child reads can motivate them to read more. It gives them a sense of accomplishment and encourages them to set new goals. 2, accountability. A book tracker holds children accountable for their reading habits. They know what they need to read and by when, if it has the date. This helps them stay on track and avoid procrastination. 3, personalized learning. With a book tracker, children can personalize their reading experience by setting their own reading goals and choosing the books they want to read. This allows them to learn at their own pace and in their own way. 4, visual progress. Many children are visual learners. Even if they are not, it helps them to see a tangible representation of what they are both doing and hoping to accomplish. A book tracker provides this. It is like a roadmap that shows them how far they have come and how much more is left to explore. 5, everyone is a critic. Many digital trackers have a review component. I love this. It allows me to find new books based on others' recommendations. It also allows me to give my opinion of the books that I have finished. Seriously, what child doesn't have and love to share their opinion? I have a template for you of a book tracker that you can get in the notes, and even though it's a paper template, I have a place where they can do their stars and they can write their own review if they would like to. What types of trackers are there? Printable templates. This is the one I did for you. There are a ton of free printable book tracker templates available online. Simply choose the one that appeals to your child's interests. You can also create your own to make it more personalized. Canva is fabulous for this. Printable templates are fabulous for the child who loves to put stickers on charts, needs the always in front of them reminder, or if you're like me, they have parents who want to discourage them as much as possible from being on all those extraneous devices and screen usage. Digital book trackers. If your child is more tech savvy, you can explore various apps designed for tracking reading progress. Most of these apps come with interactive features and rewards. If your child is a reluctant reader, it is my opinion that the digital apps will engage them more successfully in encouraging them to read. I love the before mentioned feature of being able to read and write reviews. From a teaching standpoint, if your child becomes enthusiastic about writing their opinion about a book, that's a double win. You've got them reading and writing. To totally geek out on you for just a minute, Bloom's taxonomy is this way of measuring the level of your child's ability to think. It's like which level of thinking they are doing. When your child just tells us what happened in the book, that is a summary or lower level thinking. Basically, this memorization or regurgitation of information, which is often asked for of children in schools, is a very, very low level Bloom's taxonomy. I think it's the first level, which is knowledge. A lot of people think it's the second level, which is understanding. When your child gives a little synopsis of what is happening in the book and then gives you their own opinion, this is actually analysis. Analysis it's not the second level. I think it's the fourth level of thought processing. This is exciting stuff. There's only 6 levels. What digital book trackers are available? Goodreads. This is my favorite. It's free. One of its best features, in my opinion, is when you have found a book you absolutely love and you want other books that are like it, you can do a feature on there and it's book lists, and you can say, okay, like for example, say the BFG. I loved the BFG. What book lists can this be found in? And so what other people have done is they have created lists that they have put the BFG in. So whether you like the BFG because you're a Ronald Dahl fan, or because it's about giants, or because it's fantasy, or because it's, I think it's set in England, whatever it is, or because it's a comedy. People might have it in lists for different reasons, but you'll be able to go to other people's lists and chances are good somebody has it in a list for the same reason you do, and you'll be able to get some recommendations of some really great books and be able to read a whole bunch of people's reviews as to why they liked it and why it's in that list. Important to note, as I was looking at book trackers, it seemed that some were actual libraries. So yes, you have the ability to do a lot of book tracking functions, but what they're really trying to do is they're hoping that you're going to check out the books on their sites. I just want you to be aware of that when you're looking, because there's so many out there. So when you're looking, and as I'm talking, because this first one is kind of like this. Epic. Okay, I love this one simply because of the title. Okay, this is great. This is an example of a book tracker that is really like a library site. It has over 40,000 ebooks, audiobooks, or videos. It costs $11.99 a month. It has interactive quizzes, learning tools, a parent dashboard, incentives, and the book tracker. So it's not simply a book tracker, it's a lot more. Personally, I love simplicity. And for me, once there's a whole bunch, it seems like I would really love a whole bunch, and then I get so lost in the whole bunch that I don't use it. But for those who are looking for more, that's it. Bookroo. This is a lot like Goodreads, only it's designed for kids. So Goodreads is great, except for it's made for adults, but it can be adapted for kids because you can do kids' books on it, and you can have kids' wish lists and all kinds of stuff. Bookroo is pretty much safe no matter what turn your kids take. And it is also free. It has all the great features that Goodreads has: reviews, wish lists, categories, bookshelves, shareable lists, and of course, that book tracker. It also has books based on your reading challenges, rewards and motivators, and a really cool way that you can just scan the barcode of your book to enter it. I was a little confused when I first looked at Bookroo because there are actually 2 programs. One is subscription-based, and I was like, how is it free if it's subscription-based? Well, if you end up signing up for the subscription-based one, they send you a box of books each month. The tracker is free. The subscription is you get a box of books. Yay! every single month, but you're going to be paying for that. So just make sure you sign up for the right one. There's so many others, but that'll get you started. How do I integrate a book tracker into my daily routine? Make it daily. Help your child become a fluent reader. Have a consistent time each day that your child will look towards reading as a natural part of the day. It's like brushing their teeth. They know every day they're going to read. You can make this time fun by allowing your child to go into their book nook to read on their own. And I have a link on how to create your own book nook. Or when you read at night together, you can alternate chapters. After reading is done for that day or night, help your child go into their reading tracker, whether it's digital or paper, and record their progress. My child feels reading is a chore. How do I make reading more fun? 8 tips to encourage a reluctant reader. This is an entire article that I did designed to answer this very question, and I have a link to that in the blog. I give you 8 tips towards encouraging your child to read so that this time is not a struggle. Create an interactive experience. The digital book trackers often have games or quizzes related to the book that your child is reading. This makes it more engaging for your child. Set goals. Help your child set realistic reading goals using the book tracker. This can be done by setting a certain number of pages or a certain number of books to read within a specific time frame. They can also be challenged to read books in different genres. I have a whole thing about nonfiction books. I haven't done a blog, it's a thing in my head. If you're in the schools, kids are encouraged to read really early, like, in kindergarten, they're starting to read. Well, by 3rd grade, they're hoping that they're proficient readers. And a lot of kids are. A lot of kids, I know kids that start reading like Harry Potter in 3rd grade, and that's really exciting and really great, and parents are so proud. The problem is a lot of them cannot read nonfiction and understand it well. So you go into 4th grade, and all of a sudden, a lot of your subjects are based on how well you read and understand, and that's science and history. So you're going to want to encourage, you can challenge them, because that was this last one, by encouraging them to read a different genre. And if you can start encouraging them to read little nonfiction books that they want to read. I remember one of my first ones was an autobiography on Mary, Queen of Scots, and I still remember it because I got to pick it and I really enjoyed it. But you're going to want to have them start getting used to that nonfiction. You can also encourage them to reach towards books that are either longer or not necessarily longer, but have more complex vocabulary. The first time I read Thoreau's, was it Walden? I get Walden and then the Park and then On Walden Park. Anyway, the Thoreau book. I'm sorry, I'm spacing it right now. It's not very big. It's really thin, but oh my gosh, his language and everything, trying to figure all of that out. And then I read a ton of Shakespeare. Shakespeare's not very long. They're 5-act plays. But because of the language, it's much more difficult. So there's a lot of ways to challenge a child's reading who is an advanced reader. Incorporating a book tracker into your child's reading routine is a great way to engage your child while still encouraging them to read. By providing a visual representation of their progress and incorporating fun and personalized elements, children are more likely to develop a love of reading. A book tracker helps children to develop skills such as time management, goal setting, and self-motivation. They also provide a sense of accomplishment and a place to share their opinion, and they love to share their opinion, about the books. The movie quote this week: "The memories, they fade. And all I'm left with is the sense that I was once part of something much greater." Beetle in Kubo and Two Strings. If you are hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode. And for that, I want to send you a huge thank you. Please leave me a comment or review and share with other moms you know. Get in touch in the comments or on Kara's social media networks. See you next week for a new episode.